Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching the Commuter Student Success session of Culver Connections. We're so excited to have you all as members of the Wildcat family and to have your student here on the Hill this year. My name's Dr. Angie Royal, and I'm the Vice President for Student Experience at Culver-Stockton College. I serve as your student's advocate, but I'm also your liaison with the college to make certain you always get your questions answered. So one of the things that I've noticed about commuter students is that they often feel like they're not a real student, but I want you to know that they are. They have access to all of the services that our residents do, with the exception of the residence hall. That's it. They just don't sleep here. So what I want to do tonight is just arm you with information about how to best support your commuter student. But please know I'm always here to help with anything. And so I'm going to leave you with my contact information at the end of this session so that you can reach out to me anytime you have questions. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first thing that I wanted to do is to let you know when commuter students check in. So even though commuter students don't live in the residence halls, they do actually still check in when our residents do. So if your student is participating in our Catalyst program, or if they're a fall athlete that's participating in men's or women's cross country, football, men's and women's soccer, or women's volleyball, or if they're a dining services student worker, they're going to check in on Friday, August the 8th. If they're a member of cheer, the marching band, or are an upper class Blessing Riemann nursing student, they're going to check in on August the 14th. And then all other new commuter students will check in on August the 21st. Now, if you happen to also have a returning commuter student, they will actually be checking in on Sunday, August 24th. But why do commuter students still check in? Well, at check-in, there's going to be a number of different activities that happen. The student's going to be able to take care of things like getting things finalized with financial aid, getting things finalized with the business office, getting their student ID, taking care of things like their parking sticker, getting their Wildcat Welcome schedule, the Wildcat Welcome t-shirt. There's just all kinds of things that happen at Wildcat Welcome that are completely separate from residence hall stuff. So that is why commuter students do still participate in check-in. Now, the other thing that I did want to point out too is that commuter students do still participate in Wildcat Welcome activities. These activities are all set up for new students to help them be successful. So they need to clear their schedules from work and all other commitments August 21st through the 24th and make certain that they're available to us. Now, what I'm highlighting here are the actual required activities for their WSL class that they take as new freshmen. So they definitely don't want to miss those. So Thursday, August the 21st, they'll check in at 1 o'clock. If they're not checking in on an earlier date as a fall athlete or some of those other things we just talked about. At 2 o'clock, we will host a commuter student chat for them, so please make certain they're at that. Then at 3 o'clock, we have what's called kickoff and matriculation, which you as parents are 100% encouraged to come to as well. It's a really cool ceremony that we have to kick off the academic year. And then at 4:30, the new freshmen will meet with their WSL class. And then at 7 o'clock that night, we have one of our most fun events called Play Fair, where all of our students, our new students, get together, and our goal is by the time they leave that session, they have met at least half of their fellow classmates. Then on Friday, August the 22nd, we will have them all day from 9 to 4 doing what we call the Culver Crash Course, where it's just a number of different sessions for them to get to know campus better. They'll get to meet their academic advisor. This is where they can make changes to their schedule. And then we also do what's called the Great Game, which is our big digital campus scavenger hunt for their WSL class. Then on Saturday, August the 23rd, we have our day of service, again, which are required activities from 9 to 1. And then that night, we have a session that's required for students to really get them out of their comfort zones and really in the spirit of becoming that college student. So again, these are all activities that are set up for them to be successful. So please make certain that your student attends those. All right, so what are some of the things, that are critical to the success of commuter students? And these are things that you can be having conversations with them about. One thing that's going to be first and foremost in their mind is traveling to campus, right? So one of the things I always encourage commuter students to think about is, How much time is it going to take to get here? You know, commuter students always need to give themselves ample time to get to campus. I even encourage new commuter students to maybe practice driving to campus before classes start. You know, if they know that they have a 9 o'clock class, maybe practice the week before classes, seeing how long it's going to take them with traffic to get here. Make certain they give themselves ample time for things like accidents, road construction, weather. I also strongly encourage them to keep an eye on their Culver email, Wildcats Connect, which is an app that we have on campus that they'll learn about during Wildcat Welcome. They'll also be receiving things that are called rave alerts. These are text messages and emails which are sent out if we have a closure or a late start due to weather. Students automatically get put in that system, so they just need to keep an eye on that. Something else that I always encourage commuter students to do is to keep an emergency kit in their car with things like bottled water, snacks, flashlight, blankets, jumper cables, like those things that can keep them safe on the road in the event that there were to be some kind of an emergency. Something else I encourage to think about is the clothing that they're going to need. They're going to be traveling across campus when they get here, right? So umbrellas are something that are going to be needed. Rain boots, snow boots, coats, whether it's a rain jacket or a winter coat. It can get pretty chilly here in Northeast Missouri. So those are things to think about. Parking on campus is absolutely something they're going to want to be prepared for. First and foremost, students do need to register their vehicle on My Culver. I believe it's $85 to register their vehicle. They'll go onto My Culver. Parking registration will go onto their student account, and then they will receive a sticker at check-in. Commuter students can park in any student lot on campus. Now, are they going to be able to park right by their classes? Probably not, but they should always be able to access parking at the Maybe Center or the Henderson lot or even up by the baseball fields. But I always encourage them to arrive early to give themselves plenty of time to find parking and to walk to class. I did also want to point out that campus safety is always here to help. So if they ever lock themselves out of their car, campus safety can help get them connected with the police. If they need a ride to their car, if it's pouring rain and they've forgotten their umbrella, or with so many athletes on campus, sometimes they might suffer an injury and need a ride somewhere. Campus safety is always here to help. So please make certain that your student does have campus safety's number in their phone, this phone number 573-288-6300. That will always roll to the campus safety cell phone. So make certain that they do reach out if they need assistance. The other thing I would make certain that your student does is to please make certain on My Culver that they have their emergency contact information up to date. Just in case, God forbid, any kind of emergency situation were to happen, we need to be able to contact you as their parents. So please make certain they go on to My Culver and do that. All right, while they're on campus, just some things I wanted to point out to them that can help make their lives a little easier. For commuters, we do have 27 student lockers that are located on the lower level of Johann, which is our library on campus. The use of these lockers is coordinated and supervised by campus safety. If a student wishes to use one of these lockers, they just need to go to campus safety and have one assigned to them. Students are responsible for providing their own lock. It can be a combo lock or a key lock. However, the college does reserve the right to open the lockers by any means, including cutting that lock off if they do need to get into the locker. Something else I would encourage your commuter student to think about as they start to think about their classes for next semester is, to be a little more intentional with their scheduling so that it might fit their commuter schedule a little nicer. We usually schedule for the spring semester around October. So what I mean by that is, they might want to try and only have classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or, maybe they want to schedule it so they don't have big gaps in between classes, because then it becomes tempting to go home. What I would recommend, though, if they do have gaps in between their classes, maybe encourage them to use that time to study, get their homework done, encourage them to find places on campus where they can hang out between classes and get some studying done. The Crown Center has places in it. The library does. There's lots of great outdoor spaces. Something else that they're absolutely welcome to do while they're here on campus is to dine on campus. And while no, we don't have a commuter meal plan, what students can do is they can go on My Culver, and under the campus life section, if they click on meal plans, they can put money on their student ID. They can use what we call bucks to dine in the dining hall, at the CP, and the lab. They are always welcome to bring their own lunch and find anywhere to eat on campus. If they do ever need to heat up their lunch, Student Life does have a microwave in our office that they're always welcome to come use as well. Now, if they're going to be here all day on campus, something else that I would encourage them to do is to make certain they have chargers for their devices. So whether it's their cell phone, laptops, just make certain they bring those along. And again, there's plenty of spots all over campus that they can find to relax and plug their devices in. Now, if they do have gaps in between classes, or if they don't, even after class, we highly, highly encourage them to get involved. I cannot speak enough to the importance of this. What we absolutely do not want to happen is for your commuter student just to go to class, get in their car, go home, and that be it. Students who get involved are more likely to successfully persist toward their degree, and they're also more likely to be successful in their careers after they graduate. We have so many different ways that students can get involved here at Culver. We have about 30 to 40 different student organizations, including fraternities and sororities. We have student activities that happen on campus almost every single day and night of the week. Students can find all of our student activities and student organizations on an app called Wildcats Connect. And I would also encourage them to maybe consider getting a job on campus. We have a number of different places that they can work on campus. One of our biggest employers on campus is Dining Services, for example. They are always hiring students. So if your student ever needs a job, certainly let them know Dining Services is always hiring. Now, here are some tips that can help you best support your commuter student, especially if your commuter student is still living with you. It can be tough to see them in this new role because they're still there with you, so it may appear that nothing has changed. But I would encourage you to think about, that despite them still living with you, maybe think about their peers who are living on campus and how things have changed for them, how they have this new role. Because students do learn from their peers, and the freedom to spend time with their friends and classmates in a spontaneous way is important. For example, students who live on campus don't have curfews. Students who live on campus aren't having to stop what they're doing to be at home, to be at the dinner table for a family dinner, right? They're able to continue in a group discussion into the evening, or if they're able to go to a movie or a lecture, out for fun with their friends. So if you have a college student living at home, you now have another adult in the house. So you might want to consider easing up a little bit on your expectations so that they can build a life on campus. Maybe be a little more understanding that you might not see them for every single meal. Maybe keep their family responsibilities to a minimum because now they have some pretty significant responsibilities as a college student. We put it in perspective, being a college student is a full-time job. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you to not have curfews and to not, that they shouldn't have responsibilities. That is completely up to you. Just please understand a lot of things are changing around them. And we just ask that maybe you be a little understanding about that. But what I would strongly encourage you to do is have a conversation with your student about your expectations. Maybe you can reach a compromise on curfews and how many meals each week you'd like to, have them home for. But again, encourage them to create a life on campus. It will only help them be successful. Another tip is to be understanding about what it costs to be a commuter. It can cost a lot of money to drive back and forth. So, maybe help them out with gas cards or put some money on their Culver ID so they can eat on campus. But again, we just ask that you be understanding because it is a lot to be a college student in general. But being a commuter student, there's added stress in there. There's the stress of traveling, finding places to park, coordinating their schedules. It can be a lot. So again, we just ask that you show them a little bit more understanding. And finally, please become familiar with our academic calendar and don't encourage your student to miss classes unless absolutely necessary. And I will always include links to the academic calendar in the parent newsletters that go out on the first of each month. Please don't plan family trips while classes are in sessions, as most faculty have attendance policies. And overall, the more your student misses class, the more likely they are to not be successful. And we all want them to be successful, right? So I hope that you found this information to be helpful. Here's my contact information. If I can be of assistance in any way, please never hesitate to contact me. I'm always here to help. We cannot wait to have your student here in this fall. August is going to be here before we know it. But again, please never hesitate to reach out if you need anything. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.